But if you don't spend time with him, it's just a bunch of knowledge. And it's not an actual knowing. So tonight I actually want to, as kind of part of the activations in the school, take you, which is very interesting because Tim brought it up earlier, about the power of our sanctified mind. I want to take us on a journey where we can spend some time with the Lord and allow him to reveal himself to us. I had an encounter with the Lord at Jesus School in September. They created this time and this space to just have some time getting away with the Lord. And at first I just thought it was the weirdest thing ever. I was like, this just all sounds like New Age. Like, this just sounds kind of freaky, using my imagination to go with the Holy Spirit. I just was not comfortable about it at all. But they began to share about our sanctified mind and how we've been given the mind of Christ, and Ephesians 3:20 that says, anything that you hope, dream, or imagine, I desire to do abundantly greater and beyond. And just showing the power of our imagination. You know, the Father, he himself is a creator, and we are his creation, but he's also placed such creativeness through ourselves. And as much as the Holy Spirit leads us and guides us, he also desires to partner with our dreams and visions. He's never created us to be robots and just waiting for him to say, do this, do that. But actually, the desires that he's placed in our heart and the dreams that we have, he desires to partner with that because it's his spirit within us anyway. If you think that the desires of your heart are of the flesh, if it's lining up with the Spirit of God, it's actually a desire the Lord's placed within you. And if we're imagining with the Holy Spirit, it's not our imagination, but it's, as Tim was saying earlier, it's the mind of Christ within us. It's getting to that place of trust and faith with God, saying that, okay, even though my mind in the past may have led me to sin, or may have led me to thoughts of destruction, I am a new creation today.
It's good.
I'm no longer stuck under the things of the world or under a mind of destruction, but I now have the mind of Christ within me. All of my thoughts are pure. They're all good. They are all of the Holy Spirit, and anything that would say otherwise is a lie.
Come on.
So, yes, tonight I want to create this time. I was telling you about this story at Jesus School. I was kind of confused about this whole, it's called like an imagination journey with the Holy Spirit. And it kind of freaked me out. And I felt the Holy Spirit saying to me, Elly, why does this concern you so much? And I expressed my concerns to him about the way the world uses this kind of thing. And I felt him say that the world only uses it, and like the New Age and the occult only uses the imagination because they've actually seen the power that it has. And the enemy's tried to play like a powerful hand in that he's twisted it enough that the church has become fearful of actually using their imagination and journeying with God in their imagination because they think it's like wrong, or they think it's not what he desires to do, or it's too mystical, it's too kind of freaky or whatever. But yeah, I totally believe that the enemy's tried to place that fear on the church because there is such a power in it, and it does bring a lot of freedom. And as I just settled in my heart that this is actually safe, and the Holy Spirit does want to take me away, and he wants to take all of us away into a place of encounter, even just in our mind's eye. I went away into this place with the Lord, and I remember being in the Lord taking me to this garden in heaven, and I was just in this garden that was green and there was life all around me and everything just seemed to be thriving. And I felt the presence of God just fall in this garden. And it reminded me of the places in the Word where it talks about the presence preceding the Father, like the presence preceding God. And this thick presence just like flooded into the space. And then Jesus walked into the garden, and as I looked around, everything began to teem with life even more. The trees that were already green and full of life just bursted up more, and everything was like vibrating with this energy of what God was bringing in. And I placed my hands out in worship, and like flowers and plants began to grow even from my hands. It was like there was life all around him. And Jesus came up to me and he took me to this plant that had these gems on it. And he plucked one off and handed it to me, and it was white with like these blue flecks in it. He said, "Elly, this is my righteousness and my peace, and I give this to you." And in this moment, I've been in a school all week that had been talking about living in righteousness, living in the fullness of peace that God had given us. And as much as it had become head knowledge, I'd learned all these scriptures, I'd learned what this had meant, it still hadn't hit home, it still wasn't reality in my life. And in this moment, I felt the Lord give me this gift of his righteousness and his peace, and I grabbed it, and I just remember in the vision shoving this gem into my heart. And then he took me to another plant, and he plucked off this tiny little yellow gem. And he said, "Elly, this is my joy, and I give this to you." And I took this little gem, and I just felt to drink it. So I drank the gem. And then the Lord just began to show me who he is and tell me about himself and what I look like with him and me. Now, I don't even have words to describe what the transformation that happened in my life after that encounter. But I remember just coming out of this time with the Lord, and I felt physically different.
Wow.
I literally felt physically different. From that moment on, I was tangibly experiencing a peace that I'd never walked in my life. It was almost to the point of I realized I had been living with this like somewhat anxiety, but it was just so constant, it hadn't really clicked that it wasn't anxiety until I had this overwhelming peace. I was like, I don't even know what that was that I used to experience, but this peace that I'm carrying now, it's like nothing else. I began to have joy in like random moments in worship, and just was like, would flood my heart. And I was just so amazed that I've been hearing this truth all week, and I had my spirit wide open to receive it, and been hearing these words and been hitting my head, I've been understanding it. But it wasn't until the Lord actually took me away and I spent time with the Holy Spirit on this truth, and that he actually brought it as that revelation and encounter in my heart, that is when it became reality in my life. And ever since that moment, I've just been such a fan of getting away with God. I'll hear truth all the time and just be so receiving it. It's like, Holy Spirit, let my spirit receive this. But for me, I find every time it's when I go home with the Lord and I'm spending time with him alone and processing over it, that he just brings it to revelation in my life. And instead of it just being information that I can recite and rattle off, it actually starts to become reality in my life. And so with that all being said, I really want the next 15, 20 minutes to just be a time for you all to get super comfy and just allow yourself to be taken away with the Holy Spirit.
Come on.
I'm going to lead us in a little getaway to just kind of get the distractions of the day and of the week and just things that would try and get in our head and just focus us from the Lord out, just so we can focus on God. This isn't an emptying of your mind thing, by the way. It's actually completely the opposite. It's an emptying of the things of this world, but it's a complete filling of just the focus of God.
Yeah, that's
We don't want emptiness in our mind at all, because we're always in communion with God. But we're getting all the distractions of life out of the way so we can just be focused with the Lord. So, yeah, just encourage you all as well. Like, this isn't, don't think you're doing anything wrong as well if you don't have an insane vision or something massive happen, because that's not the point of this exercise. But it's simply, if you walk away knowing God that little bit deeper than you did when you walked in here, that's all that matters tonight.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if you've encountered the nature of God a little bit deeper and what He looks like within your life, then it's been a good night. So yeah, I encourage you all to just close your eyes right now. Holy Spirit, we just welcome you into this place, God. Lord, we put up every distraction. Everything of our day, of this week, God, we push it aside, Father, and we just ask for the filling of your Spirit, of your presence in this place. God, we breathe you in tonight. Right now, every breath, now every thought, God, we just welcome you in. I just want you to imagine yourself in a white room. The room's empty, it's just white walls, white ceiling, white all around. As you turn around, you see there's a white door there. Begin to make your way towards the door. As you open the door, you step into a beautiful garden. Just feel the presence of God in the wind. Look at the flowers that are around you. Feel the sun heating up your body. You hear the Spirit say, come, come, start running. You see like a path in the garden, just begin to run along it. Run towards the Spirit that's calling. As you run, you begin to see this bare and open field, and there's this picnic blanket laid out in the middle of it. As you approach the picnic blanket, you sit down, and there before you is the Father the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They have a many feasts laid out before you. Sit down with them. What are they saying to you? What are they saying about you? What are they telling you tonight?